Glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. Serious damage to important body parts pretty much screws up any future plans you might have had for living. Bummer. Well, just think proudly of your accomplishment. On second thought, just think. It even happens to important people. I would think that something identifiable as unstable ordnance would be low on your list of fun and healthy things to carry. We hope you'll get yourself together and rejoin us. Isn't this a blast? As the green slime dissolves the flesh from your bones, you think, hey, this stuff consumes 47 times its weight in acid. The young shuttle pilot, his seat suddenly humidified by your surprise entry, fires his pulse ray. The shot just misses you and then bounces off the reflective surfaces of the cabin, eventually managing to fatally perforate you. Just as you fade from the Living Organism Club, you think, in amazement, so that's what my spleen looks like. Just as you fade from the Living Organism Club, you think, in amazement, so that's what my spleen looks like.
I've just completed a scan of the Labion sector of Space Quest 2. No sign of presence at this time. Halt! Some people just won't follow instructions.
We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time-rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally... Roger. This is Roger on Ortega. Any questions? Glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. Now this is a pain that'll linger. All the Bengay in Florida won't relieve this stiffness.
It's a sea slug! Run, girls!
Glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. I'm sure the latex babes appreciate your sacrifice. Too bad you can't experience just how appreciative they are. Boy, isn't it just like a sequel police cyborg to guard the main entrances and exits? The change machine looks like a time machine more than a time machine looks like a time machine. For a change. Banging on the change machine will only activate its self-defense mechanism. You were warned not to try to break into the change machine, but did you listen?
I see you've made a selection from our box of slop, bargain bin. Excuse me, sir. Would you like to pay for that? I wouldn't try that if I was you.
It looks like shoplifting is taken seriously around here. Smoking is bad for your health. Boy, these guys pop up in the most inconvenient places. They seem to have this area secured. Your extra crispy parts surely provide no threat. Next time, don't dilly-dally, dude. Well, maybe. It's worth a try. Zap, zap, you're dead. Hint, hitting a moving target is more difficult than hitting a stationary lump.
Ouch! Aw, Christ! I hate it when that happens! Aw, Christ!
Thousands of volts pass through your cranium, turning your brain into a quivering mass of short-circuited neurons, which effectively terminates all interpretation of sensory impulses. You musculate your spasms for the last time as the force field shock causes you to give up the ghost. You hear a high-pitched whine from the east. Nice reflexes. Life is pounded loose from your body by the impact of the sandbike. Now this is a pain that'll linger. All the Bengay in Florida won't relieve this stiffness. Watch out for that first step. That was a long first step. We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. You hear an electronic hum approaching from ahead of you. Now you knew he was coming, didn't you? Maybe if you wait a while, the nice droid will come around to where you are and talk to you. While you were busy staring blankly at your pocket pal's screen, a droid snuck up behind you, tapped you on the shoulder. Zap! You're it! The word laser came to mind after each of the first 6 shots, but only after the 7th blast were you convinced. Dang. We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. As you leave the laser tunnel, you hear a metallic voice announce that the formatting program is beginning, erasing all data in the supercomputer and dashing all hopes of regaining your son. You were nearly thrown off the edge of the platform. Be more careful. We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload. Well, that's just great. Now Vohaul's on the loose again, disguised as your son. You lose 3 out of 2. The formatting sequence times out, the computer brain does its thing, and you suddenly realize you've lost the game because you weren't there to see it. You're far too